And on a prior video, I reviewed the Thinkdiag diagnostic device, which is an advanced OBD2 scanner that allows us to pull codes from the vehicle, read live data, and also bi-directional controls and access to dealer-level functions. But you may have noticed that Thinkcar also makes a second device called the Thinkdiag-II device, and you might be wondering which of these two devices is right for you, the standard Thinkdiag or the Thinkdiag-II. And on this video, I'm going to show you what you get inside of this box, as well as walk you through the features of the Thinkdiag-II device. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to cover what are the broad differences from the two devices, that way you can decide which is the right device for you. I have placed a link to the original review video for the Thinkdiag device in the description down below, and I'm also going to place links to both the Thinkdiag device and the Thinkdiag device 2 on the description in case you want to get one for yourself. And we'll start by connecting the tool to my car's OBD2 port. And the Thinkdiag app is available for Apple and Android devices, and it has been divided into 5 sections: all systems diagnostics, maintenance functions, OBD2 functions, reports, and history. And we'll start with all systems diagnostic, which allows the scanner to read and also be able to clear codes and also access live data, as well as special functions such as activating tests. Now you'll notice that we can enter a VIN manually, or we can let the scanner pull the VIN number automatically from the vehicle by using the VIN decoding function. And we're presented with 5 options: to run a full health check on the vehicle, to select an individual system, to access the service functions, customize the vehicle, or vehicle information. Let's run a health report. And here's the summary of the results of that health report, and as you can see, it will show you what systems were scanned and the results of that scan. In this particular vehicle, the TPMS systems has 4 pending DTCs, and also power source control, there is 1 pending DTC for it. At this point, we can also create a report summary of everything that was found. We can choose to clear the DTCs, or we can rescan the vehicle, and tapping on each one of the modules can show you the actual details of that DTC that was found on the car. Moving over to system selection, here we can select to scan all the systems, only the powertrain, the chassis, or the body systems of the vehicle. But let's take a look inside of all systems, and here you can see all the different modules that this scanner is able to read from on this particular vehicle, which is newer, therefore it has a lot more modules that we can pull information from. Well, let's go back inside of all system, and I'll show you what's inside of ECM. And the menu is going to be very similar to the other modules. You're going to be able to read fault codes, clear fault codes, pull freeze frame data if it's available, and also read live data again if it's available, and also activate specific items on the vehicle, either for testing or troubleshooting processes. Now, this particular vehicle supports a lot of different things that can be activated, and each one will vary depending on how new your vehicle is and what functions it supports. And in special functions, here's where you have a couple more items that the scanner can check on this vehicle. Well, let's just look at another example. Under chassis, we got ABS, and again, you are shown that familiar screen where you can read codes, clear the codes, read any freeze frame data if available, read live data if available, actuation tests, and special functions. And here are the special functions that are available for this vehicle under the ABS module. Moving over to maintenance functions, you have FES, bleed, BMS, box, brake, DPF, EGR, ETS, IMO, which is the immobilizer, injector, oil, SES, SUN, which is sunroof, SUS, which is suspension, and TPMS. You'll notice also that you can download individual modules or just the one that you need. And I have downloaded all the service modules, and I want to show you inside one of them. Let's take a look at TPMS. First off, you'll notice that we get a function introduction where we get a brief description of what the service module can do, and in some cases we also get a learning guide and also the different makes that this particular module is applicable for. And if you're not familiar with the service function, this is where that manual learning guide comes in handy. I'm gonna find the vehicle that I'm working with. I'm gonna scroll down here and I'm gonna look for Toyota. Here it is. Now I'm gonna look for Corolla, and I'm gonna select the year. And here is the learning guide that is going to give us the different steps that are applicable for this service function. But let's go inside of the actual function itself. I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to hit Toyota. And we have tire pressure sensor reset, signal check, and tire pressure warning light reset. But let's take a look at a final example just to show you the capability of this tool. Let's look at the IMO. Again, we get a function introduction that tells us a brief description of what this module can do and the make selection screen. I'm going to scroll down and select Toyota. Here we have immobilizer and keys programming and remote control manual setting. Let's go inside of the first one. Here we get immobilizer programming, main body key fob, theft deterrent, and entry start. But let's take a brief look at some of them. We'll start with immobilizer programming and let's look at type. I'm going to go back to the front. Now let's look at key fob. And you'll notice that some of these functions will actually tell you what they're gonna do before you even started, which is convenient, again, if you are not familiar with that particular function and wanna know what it does. Moving back to the main menu, we have the reports function for any reports that were generated, and we also get the history tab. And if we tap this little icon right here, this is where we can access tech support in case we needed some help. But now let's move over to the third function, which is standard OBD2 functions and diagnostics. And here we can check the emission status readiness of the vehicle, read live data, access the freeze-frame information, read fault codes, clear fault codes, onboard monitoring tests, control and operation of components that are on board, read vehicle information. But let's take a look at the live data function. And let's take a brief look at the list of parameters that this particular tool can scan. Now, the parameters that you're going to be able to access are going to vary tremendously from vehicle to vehicle. Some support more than others depending on what systems and what sensors your car is equipped with. And here we can see the live data coming from the vehicle and also any mention of any data that is not supported by the vehicle. And let's also take a look at the graphing function. We're looking at RPMs. And we can also combine multiple items to be graphed at the same time. Again, we're given the option to create a report, but also more importantly, we are given the option of being able to record this for future review. But I want to show you one last thing inside of All Systems Diagnostics. There is a demo module available, and if we download it, it can simulate the vehicle in case you wanted to practice the functions before doing them on a real life car. I also want to show you the vehicle coverage list in case you wanted to check if your car is on this list. Now, you'll also notice that you can individually download the mix, or you can choose to download all of them if needed. You also may have noticed this expiration date, 12/14/2024. This is based on when I activated this scanner, which means that we get 1 year of updates with the scanner. After 1 year has passed, we will not get any more updates unless we renew the subscription. And I have made another video covering their subscription model in detail. The tool continues to work. Again, what we lose is the updates, but if you want to see that video where I go into the different functions after that 1 year expiration, I'll put a link to that video in the description down below. so you can see that in more detail. And now that you've seen the features of the Thinkdiag 2 device, you may be wondering what exactly is the difference from the Thinkdiag 2 to the Thinkdiag, since they both use the same app and seem to have similar capabilities. And I'm gonna use a graphic that I pulled off the Thinkcar website so it can help us see the differences. As you can see, for the Thinkdiag device, we get support for 5 main OBD2 protocols. We get KWP 2000, CAN support, ISO 9141-2 support, UDS support, and BPW and PWM. So if your vehicle that you're looking to troubleshoot uses any of one of those protocols, the Thinkdiag device is going to be more than enough for you. And if you look at the Thinkdiag 2 device, it also has support for those 5 major OBD2 protocols, just like the Thinkdiag device. However, in the Thinkdiag 2 device, they have added support for one more protocol, and this is the big one. They have support for CAN-FD, and CAN-FD is used on a lot of the newer vehicles of today. So if you're looking to troubleshoot a fairly recent vehicle, you're going to want to go for the Thinkdiag 2 device for its CAN-FD support. You'll also want to go for the Thinkdiag 2 device if you have any one of the newer models that have been added to this device, such as support for GM vehicles that are listed on here, the 2021 Tracker, 2021 Escalade, and so on and so on. So if your vehicle is listed on that list of support, you're going to want to go for the Thinkdiag 2 device. And there's a couple of other small differences that I think some buyers will find important. The Thinkdiag 2 device supports Bluetooth 5.0, where Thinkdiag supports Bluetooth 4.2. Now, additionally, you also have the size and design of the product. As you can see, the Thinkdiag device is just a dongle, simple one-piece thing. Now, this is really a 2-piece deal. It's a little bit larger. Now, the cable can separate from the main scanner if needed, but more importantly, having a cable like this allows us to connect this scanner to hard to reach areas. Sometimes the OBD2 port is not that easy to find or to reach, and sometimes if you're trying to plug something in like this, you may have trouble finding the location where it's at and then trying to see the LEDs on here to see if it has connected to the vehicle or not. So having this extender cable allows us to reach into those areas, and now the LEDs showing us the status of the scanner are moved away closer to us because they are located directly on this little guy. They are located on both sides of the scanner, so it doesn't matter which side you're looking at, you'll know the status of the scanner and what it's actually doing. And finally, the Thinkdiag 2 device does come with a carrying case, which is nice, so we can store this away and keep this nice and safe, where the Thinkdiag device is just a device by itself. So hopefully this video will help you decide if the Thinkdiag 2 device is for you or if all you need is the Thinkdiag device. Now, normally I would say go for the Thinkdiag 2 device so you have support in the future. Let's say you buy a car with CAN-FD down the road and you want to be able to access that car as well. But you got to remember that both of these devices are based on a subscription service, which means you get 1 year of updates after activating them. Now, the devices will continue to work after that period has expired, but you're no longer going to get updates. And I have covered that in more detail in that video that I mentioned, that I linked in the description, of how the subscription model works. Which means that if you buy this thinking that just in case I need to have CAN-FD support down the future, if your vehicle purchase that needs CAN-FD support is years away, by the time you buy that vehicle, you could potentially already have gone past the expiration date for the updates. And unless you're paying for those updates yearly, then at that point, then the scanner is pretty much gonna be outdated. So I would really think that it will make more sense if you don't need to have CAN-FD support, if you don't need to be that extra dongle length, if you don't need support for the GM vehicles that I showed you, I think you're gonna be okay with the Thinkdiag device. And once you buy that vehicle down the road that needs CAN-FD support, then you can jump and get this guy, and then you'll have a fresh, brand new device with a full 1 year of updates and support. However, the price difference between the Thinkdiag 2 device and the Thinkdiag device is small enough, in my opinion, where for my preference is gonna be for the Thinkdiag 2 device. I like the fact that it comes with a carrying case. I like the fact that it has that cable, extra cable length, so I can reach those hard to reach places, and also the CAN-FD support. If for some reason somebody were to show up in my house and with a car that needs CAN-FD, and I can just use my scanner directly on it, where I won't be able to to do so on this guy. So remember, I place links in the description down below to both of these devices, and if you guys have any other questions regarding this, please put that in the comments. Also, if you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel, and stay tuned as I have a lot more OBD2 scanner reviews coming up for you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.